This video happens to ask the question, what other forms of school choice are there, and why do you think that PACE is the best form of school choice? I could talk about this for hours on end because we've researched all the forms of school choice for days on end. So let me put it in as simple as I can get it. So vouchers and ESAs, which is educational savings account, they're kind of like the same. It's where the money follows the child. So tax money out of the school education tax, normally it would go to the public school. It's like $6,000, I believe. $6,000, and that $6,000 if the child doesn't go to public school would in turn go into a education savings account. And the parent can pay the school expenses for private school off of this account. And of course that's regulated, by the government officials on what qualifies and what doesn't qualify, but it would come out of like an account. And once again, the cap is set at the cap that the school would get, which is about $6,000 per child. PACE is better in those areas because PACE's cap is set at $11,000, which would actually cover 100% of the tuition at most private institutions. And PACE is also better because it is privately funded. So the government is not going to have control over the curriculum in the schools. Particularly, there's a Blaine Amendment right now in South Carolina law that outlaws religious-oriented schools from getting government funds. So with that Blaine Amendment in place, you would not be able to use those tax dollars to pay for a Christian academy or a Catholic academy or a Jewish academy, whatever the private school academies are associated with religious organizations. So with the PACE scholarship, it's private funding. So as long as it meets education standards for the state, then you're good to go. You can use the scholarship for that. Another big thing is that the legality of it. These ESAs and these vouchers get caught up in so many lawsuits that they may pass legislation, but then they spend years and years and years being held up in court because of lawsuits. So ours is better because it's a privately funded scholarship. It is legal. We're not going to get caught in lawsuits. So once we get this passed, we can start giving it on to the people. We can put it out there and start handing out scholarships. We don't have to worry about it being stuck in court for the next decade. The other things are tax credits. So tax credit would be to the parent. So if a parent pays out of pocket, then they can get a credit on their own taxes at the end of the year for paying all the pocket out of there. And we don't do that. We just, PACE is better because we don't ask you to pay out of pocket. If we tell you we're going to give you a scholarship, we're going to pay the tuition at the school. So you apply for the scholarship and then you send us the school information and we go ahead and send the money straight over to school. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, so I guess the last thing would be probably other scholarships. And there's a few of them out there, but they're only for special needs or only for poverty level households. And obviously ours is better because it includes them and it includes other people too. So it's very much more inclusive than just those two areas. So